first color I'm going to show you guys today is called I Heard That. This is another one of those micro glitters that I was talking about in the last video. This came out in the fall collection. I want to say it had something to do with the safari, hence the name I Heard That. But again, it was that fall collection right before all of the liquid sands got really popular. As you can see, again, that this is a very densely packed micro glitter in a clear base, and the color of the glitter in this one is like orange, gold, and like a bronzy color. So that's what it looks like in the first coat. Again, it covers pretty well. It covers pretty evenly, but I am going to have to do 2 coats to get this completely opaque. I'm going to go on now with the second coat of I Heard That, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. Sorry if you guys can hear the guy doing like a yard work outside. Up the street from my house, there is a house that's, I think they're renovating, but they've been doing this like all day, every day for the last like 2 weeks. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, this is opaque in 2 coats. You can see it fully covers. And again, the micro glitter is just, it's so pretty and it's pretty unique compared to all of the other glitters that I have. So this one I am going to keep. Again, I really love the micro glitter, so I am probably going to keep all of them. I have a couple more to show you. So yeah, that is I Heard That. So here is the next color. This is another micro glitter. This is in the color Champagne Kisses, and this is a more champagne color. I would say it's more, I would say it's not straight up a champagne. It's like kind of like a light taupe, but it's again a micro glitter. It has some champagne tones mixed in with that really light taupe color. So yeah, that's the first coat of Champagne Kisses. I'm going to go now with the next coat of Champagne Kisses, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. And this is like my favorite, or at least one of my favorite neutral glitters to wear. I always like in my brain chunk in the like metallic flakies as glitter, but I guess it's not glitter. But yeah, this is one of my favorite neutral glitters to wear. It's so pretty, and it's like pretty work appropriate for a glitter, considering, you know, it's glitter. So yeah, that is the second coat of Champagne Kisses. So again, I am going to keep this one. I'm keeping all of my micro glitters, but you guys can see how pretty it is up close and just how much coverage there is with the 2 coats. So yeah, that is Champagne Kisses. The next color is called Harvest Moon. This was also from the Hunger Games collection. This is a nice bronzy foily color. It's not completely a foil. It's like that spot right between a foil and a shimmer. Because the pieces are like, the little particles are a little bit bigger, but it's not like super smooth like a foil, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's a nice bronzy color. It's pretty opaque in 1 coat. I am going to do 2 coats, but this is a really beautiful fall color. I wear this once in a while around Thanksgiving. So yeah, that is Harvest Moon. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Harvest Moon. And this gets fully opaque in 2 coats, and this also gets just a little bit deeper. I want to say it gets a little bit richer as well. You can see that the color comes out really nice in that second coat. Yeah, I don't have very much to say about it. It's just kind of that perfect, first of all, it's got like a perfect name, Harvest Moon, and it's got like that perfect Thanksgiving tone to it. So that is 2 coats of Harvest Moon. So this is what Harvest Moon looks like up close. I'm going to keep this for now and see how much use I get out of it, especially this coming fall. If I don't use it very much, then I am going to destash it. This next color is called Soft Sienna Silks. This is a shimmery, like, I don't know, it's like a slightly, it's like a sable color. It's kind of like an eyeshadow color. I can't think of a color that's like exactly like this off the top of my head. I actually think I've never used this nail polish before. I want to say I got this in like an Ipsy bag or something at some point, and I never used it until now. So this is what it looks like when it gets swatched. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's kind of the perfect eyeshadow color. There's a color in the Tarte or the Too Faced chocolate bar palette that looks like this. It's one of those colors. So it's really like wearable. It's really neutral. It's a little bit on the darker side. It has an okay finish and formula. So I will go in with the second coat after this dries. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Soft Sienna Silk. And this, we'll see if it gets opaque in 2 coats. It looks like it will. It layers up on itself pretty easily. It doesn't drag or anything. And it doesn't really go patchy either. pull off. So yeah, that is 2 coats of soft sienna silk. So I think I am going to destash this one, not because it doesn't have a nice formula or anything, but just because I'm keeping Harvest Moon for now, and I don't wear colors like this very often. It is very, very pretty though, so if you were looking for like a neutral shimmery color like this that's a little bit on the darker side, I totally recommend this. This is Soft Sienna Silks. The next color is called Dress Me Up. This was from the Hunger Games collection, and this is a sort of like a silly putty type of color. One of those like nude, off nude, random, darker colors. It has actually a pretty good formula to the point where it's opaque in 1 coat, which kind of surprises me. I don't really remember that. But yeah, it's like one of those colors that like right now is super popular for lipstick and for like nude body tight dresses, which I have to say is not one of my favorite trends. Like, I don't think it's very flattering, and it makes me think like people are walking around naked all the time, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't, it's not my favorite look. So yeah, anyway, going back to the nail polish, it's opaque in 1 coat, which I totally forgot about. So yeah, that is Dress Me Up. So this color I think I'm actually going to keep and then compare at the end of all of my Swatch My Stash videos to see what colors are similar to this, and then sort of weed out from there. So that is Dress Me Up. This next color is called Foie Gras. I think this is from the Hunger Games collection. It might not be. It might be from a collection that came out at a similar time, but this is one of those really chic sort of off gray brown colors that, again, it's really popular. I guess it was really fashion forward a couple of years ago when this came out, but yeah, this is opaque in 2 coats, so I'm gonna have to do another coat, but it does go on pretty nicely. The formula is pretty smooth and it doesn't drag or anything. So that is Foie Gras. I'm gonna go in now with the 2nd coat of Foie Gras, and again, this does get opaque in 2 coats. It does get, I want to say it gets a little bit grayer and a little bit richer, but not like full-bodied, I guess, but not darker. I want to say it actually kind of gets a little bit lighter, like the grayness kind of helps it lighten up a little bit. So yeah, that is 2 coats of Foie Gras. So this polish I think I'm going to destash. As pretty as it is, I feel like I have some from OPI that are similar, and from other brands as well. So this one is going to get destashed. This next color is called Ingrid. This is another sort of one of those like chic off gray brown type colors, but this has a gold shimmer running through it. I remember when this one came out specifically because I feel like Miss Glamorazzi I was watching, or Ingrid I guess now, but I was just starting to really get into her videos. She was just starting to get pretty big, and I saw it and it was called Ingrid, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, and it was a really pretty color. And it was earlier when I started purchasing nail polish to collect. So I want to say it was like 2010 when this came out. So yeah, that was a really roundabout way of saying I remember when this came out. It was in like 2010. But yeah, it has a pretty good formula. It's pretty warm in the 1st coat, but because of that gold shimmer, I think that's why it looks really warm. It is kind of sheer, so I am going to have to do multiple coats of this. I'm going to go in now with the next coat of Ingrid, and I think this does actually get opaque in 2 coats. Yeah, this is opaque in 2 coats. It does get, I want to say, a little bit cooler when the polish is layered up and the shimmer comes out a little bit better. It's one of those sort of really fine shimmers. It's kind of like a secret shimmer, but not super secret. So yeah, that is Ingrid. So this is what Ingrid looks like up close. As much as I want to keep this because I kind of have a nostalgic pull to keep it because it's like an older polish in my collection, I don't wear it very often anymore, so I am going to destash this polish. I'm going to go in now with the next color. The next 2 colors are actually very, very similar in color. This is the color in Call of the Wild. This came out with the micro glitters, like I Heard That, in that fall collection, and this is a very, very dark oxblood type of color. This actually is a little bit more brown than an oxblood, so I take that back. This is sort of like an espresso type of color with the slightest hint of red to it. So I guess it's also not an espresso. It's in between an oxblood and an espresso. But you can see that it actually applies pretty nicely. It applies pretty smooth. It's not completely opaque, so I will do a 2nd coat. I'm gonna go now with the second coat, and this gets pretty much opaque in 2 coats. I would say if you are somebody that does thinner coats, to do that second coat a little bit thicker so it gets opaque in 2 coats. That's what I did just there. And when it's fully opaque, it does look brown on the nail, but it's definitely one of those colors that like you wouldn't tell all that much if it has a slight bit of red to it versus like being just a brown. It's one of those colors that's like pretty dark, and it's a good alternative to black, but at the end of the day they look very similar on the nail to some other types of polishes like this. So that is 2 coats. So this is what it looks like up close. Again, this is called Call of the Wild, and I am going to decide whether or not to keep this one or the next one after I swatch the next one. So this is what it looks like up close. So the next color is called Pray Tell, and this one I believe was also from that same collection. And this is sort of like the oxblood version of the one that I just showed you. It's a little bit more red versus being like a brown, I guess. But you can tell, or I guess you can see from the swatches, that it's gonna be very, very similar on the nail. So yeah, we'll see how I choose to keep which one. That sentence didn't even make sense, but yeah, that is what the first coat looks like. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. And again, it just looks sort of off black on the nail, not super different from the one before. So yeah, that is 2 coats. So this is what Pray Tell looks like up close. I think I might destash both of them because I'm thinking about if I want something off black, I'm just gonna use Lincoln Park After Dark. And if I want a dark red, I'm gonna get something that's a little bit more red than this. And if I want a dark, or like a brown, I'm gonna get something that's a little bit lighter. So it looks brown or it looks red on the nail, you know? So I'm gonna destash both of them. This color is called Sugarplums. This is the last color I'm going to show you guys today. It's a really dark, sort of velvety red color with a bunch of sparkles mixed in there. This is from the first holiday collection that I ever purchased from China Glaze. And so yeah, it's pretty old. It's one of those classic red shimmers that I feel like everyone owns. I talked about this in the OPI video, but it's one of those colors that like every villain at some point, or strong female character in a movie, will wear, but this one also has a little bit of shimmer mixed in. So this is the first coat of Sugarplums. You can see it actually went on pretty nicely, to the point where if I did it a little bit thicker, it might actually be opaque in 1 coat. I am going to do 2 coats for you guys though. I'm going to go in now with the second coat, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. And it actually layers pretty nicely as well. The glitter, it's a shame that the glitter in the first coat gets lost because you layer another coat on top, because this isn't a sheer nail polish, because I think that would be like really cool if there was a sort of sheer shimmer with a glitter that could be like jelly layered on top, you know, but I don't know if that's like a thing. But anyway, that's the second coat of Sugarplums. So this is what it looks like up close. This is one of those polishes that needs a top coat just because there's a little bit, it dries down a little bit dull, and I think it's because of the way that the glitter is suspended in the polish. So a top coat kind of smooths all of it over and makes it really glossy. I think I'm going to destash this one because I haven't worn it in so long that I kind of don't have a need to keep it. And because I have some dark reds that I like, and I have like fairy dust, for example, that I could layer on top to make it look like this. So this one I am going to destash. So these are the 4 colors that I ended up keeping of the 10 that I swatched today. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys are liking the series again, and I will see you guys next week.